And ooh, baby. I gotta go. Gotta get it. Gotta get it. Yes, Lord, baby. Yo, we're here, everybody. We're here. No, I'm joking.
Woo!
Yo,
About to get
we're here, baby.
get it.
Yo, this is the In Your Face show, the 30. No, 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 no. The 40th
Mm.
episode of the In Your Face show. And I'm here with my lovely assistant. Well, lovely guest.
Vanna White, your lovely assistant. Yes, I'm gonna
My
turn the
lovely
letters.
assistant. My lovely assistant. My lovely guest.
Lori Calcatara.
Laurie.
Ta-da.
Laurie. I forget that last name. That's hard. That's a hard last name.
It's not
Calcaterra.
Calcatara. There you go.
Calcaterra. Laurie Calcaterra.
Good job.
And
Gold star.
I've been messing up on this, but it's, give me time. Give me time. Laurie Calcaterra, and it's her book called The Path of the Pale Riders.
Yes,
Right?
Path of the Pale Rider. That's it.
Path of the
We're an
Pale
indie
Rider.
comic.
And
Mm-hmm.
this is the
Yes.
In Your Face show. And we right now we here, baby. Boom. Let's
Boom.
go. So, hello, Lori. How is you doing today?
I'm pretty good. It's hot here in Texas. It's been like 102 to 106 all week. So we're a little melting. We're melted, but other than that, we're fine. Brain's a
I
little
like to
melted.
I like to tell you on that note, it's blazing in this mother
I know.
on
Like,
New Jersey. Yes, it the hell it is. You can hear the fan blowing in my face. So let's keep
mm,
it real.
I know. Everybody's a little melted right now. So it's okay. It's
a,
okay.
a little melted. We damn near dying over this motherfucker. Keep
Oh
it to be
man.
honest. But to be honest with you, let's talk about Path of the
Yes.
Pale Rider.
Yes,
So
let's.
tell us about the amazing story. What's up?
The story. Okay. So, well, let me say this. Path of the Pale Rider is much more than a comic book. So, we're going to talk about a few different things tonight. But the
Mhm.
story
Mhm.
itself, it's not, I mean, like, we can talk about it like it's a Western, it's an apocalypse genre, it's a zombie genre, it's sci fi, it's all these things wrapped together. So, the story behind it is at some point, the death process broke for everything and everyone on the planet. So what I mean by that is you could die, your body can die, but your soul or your spark or your energy, it doesn't leave your body. So you don't transition, you don't rest. You are now stuck in a decaying body for the rest of eternity until you're a pile of bones and you're still there. So in most zombie genre books, it's like people when they die, they become these animated, brain eating, mindless, automatic eating machines. That's not
Mhm.
this. That's not this. So if you die, Dan, you are still you, but
Mhm.
your brain is decaying in your head. So you're slowly losing your memory, maybe becoming forgetful, becoming aggressive, becoming uncaring. So you're going through the process of decay. You're becoming more chaotic. You're becoming less human almost as this goes on. So now we have people, we have animals that are going through this, we have insects that don't die. It creates a whole slew of problems across the board. So now we have food problems, right? Because cows don't die, chickens don't die. They're still animated. So you could cut, let's say they're gonna, slaughter the animal, but it's still moving. How do you butcher a cow that's still moving? You can't.
All right.
Nor would you want to eat a burger that's still moving while you try to eat it. So
I throw that motherfucker in the trash. Keep it real with
exactly, exactly. So now
you.
we have a famine because we're not eating meat, but we also
Mhm.
have undead insects that are like they're not smart. They don't realize they're dead, so they continue to eat, right? So now you have pesticide resistant insects that are eating all of our crops. So it's like we have problems across the board. Like fish die and they're still in the water decomposing. Um, we have overpopulation. We have this ever growing human population of more and more chaotic people. It's like in the beginning, nobody knows what to do, but then eventually the government steps in and like starts putting regulations on these people. Like, I mean, because think about it, in our world, when you die, you lose the right to vote, own property, carry a firearm, drive. You can't do anything anymore. You're dead. But in this world, you could.
Hmm.
But at some point, they take away those rights. So then it becomes, you know, the living versus the undead. But then you have like the undead who are resisting. You have undead sympathizers. There's riots. There's just so much. Okay. So when you first start in this story, like issue one has been completed. If people want to jump on the bandwagon, they can order the PDF and read it today. If they want to pre-order the physical copy, it's in production right now. I should have it in a couple weeks. But every single copy, every physical copy comes along with the PDF copy. So you could read that today if you wanted to. And I'll tell
Right,
you how to do that. I'll tell you how to do that later. But anyway, so when you open the comic, you're 10 years into this apocalypse. Okay.
right, right,
So, and you're following our cowboy, Jude St. Clair. He is in the apocalypse with his horse, and he's looking for something or someone. He's trying to figure out the answer. What caused the death process to break? Why did the dead no longer die? So he's on this crazy journey through this this crazy world. And it's like I think in the end of issue two, I'll take you back to the beginning. So then like issue three starts at year one apocalypse, right? So then you'll get to experience the fall. You'll get to see the confusion, the riots, the chaos. There's so many things that we're going to explore in the story.
right,
So it's wild. It's wild. Yeah.
right. Awesome. That's because to be honest too, it gives me Revelation vibes. You know what I'm
It
saying?
does. Well, it's supposed
It,
to.
yeah, yeah, it does. Because if you really look at it too, in the book, it says pestilence and all chaos. Notice how a lot of people are like what you just said, very aggressive, very,
Yes.
but it's like a lot less love, but more hate. You
It's a lot
know,
more fear. It's more like fear
exactly,
controlling you, and that fear for self-preservation kind of stops you
exactly.
from loving. So I don't know if it's that or you know what I mean. Like I never really give an answer about what's right and what's wrong because again, the undead are so chaotic and crazy. They could kill you and not even realize it. So I never say like it's okay for them to be separate, and I never say it's okay to protect them either. It's
Hmm.
whatever you decide. It's a big gray area because, well, let's be honest, it's fictional, so you don't have to have the answer.
All
But, you
right.
know, too, it's like everybody's experience could be different depending on what happens. So it's just a very odd place. But speaking of revelations, excuse me, the book of Revelation, I can't talk tonight. Anyway, the point being, it talks about the four horsemen of the apocalypse,
Right.
right? And
Hmm.
death rides in on a pale horse. So that's what I'm talking about in the title. The path
Exactly.
of the pale rider is the path of death. Where is death? Death is missing.
Exactly.
So,
And it's crazy too. Like a lot of, if you notice, and I don't think a lot of people notice this, but a person without life is like a zombie anyway.
yeah. But that's what you're getting. That's what you're getting here. You're
Exactly.
getting people, but it's like, and it's like a slow, it could be a slow progression. It could be a fast progression into that. It just depends like how they die, their genetic makeup, all sorts of stuff. Like, did they get, um, hi Gary, how are you? Mwah.
Gary says,
So,
"What's up?"
Gary says hello everybody. It's like
Hello, buddy.
you could get shot in the head. Well, let's say in this universe that people have
Hmm.
watched zombie movies and they're like, "Oh my god, people are undead. Let's go take care of business." And they go shoot someone in the head. It does nothing. Let me rephrase. It doesn't take them out of the equation. It makes them more chaotic because now they have less of their brain to access.
Right.
So, not really a good situation. You know, it's like you're just stuck
It's
here forever. It's bad.
it's a very see that's what people don't understand. A lot of things revelational. I say revelational. In the book of
I like it.
Revelation, that's the way.
At least you can say it.
Revelational,
I can't talk tonight. Thank you.
revelational. You know, it speaks about that. It speaks about a lot of stuff that is hidden for a lot of
Yeah.
people, but a lot of people don't have the patience and the understanding to understand it. But if you really was spiritual, you understand. But
Well, there's
really
definitely
spiritual, not
that
just woke
level.
spiritual. Yeah.
Right. And if you read
I,
into, like, if you read between the lines, let's talk about, I named my protagonist Jude St. Clair. St. Jude is the patron saint of lost causes.
mhm.
Yes?
Mhm. Understand it.
See what I'm saying? Like, I put all this stuff in there. So it's like, as you keep reading, everybody is named a certain way for a reason.
Right.
It's like their appearance has to do with their character. So it's like we really thought through everything that has to do with anything that you can get from this. So it's like the more you read into it, the more enriched and the more you'll get out of this comic. And I
Right.
intended it to be something that you could read multiple times and you'll get something new every time you read it. Because that's how I
Exactly.
roll. So
And we all got to roll like that, baby. You know what I'm saying? We got to do
that's the way
it.
you're supposed to do it, right? You want to make
Yeah.
something that's timeless. It's like it's entertaining on one level, but it's like when you get into the story and you understand a little more what's happening, then you can go back to that issue number one and be like, oh my God, look what she told me here, and I didn't catch it. So there's layers and layers, and I'm so
Exactly.
excited to roll this out and to let people start learning about the world, experiencing all the craziness that goes in it, and just really dig in and fall into that rabbit hole. Yeah.
True. Exactly. And that's so. Goes to my next question.
Yeah.
How many years it took you
Mm.
to get this story down on paper?
So I started writing this in 2018.
Okay.
So I'll give everybody a kind of short history of where I came from. So this actually started out because I'm a martial artist. I've been practicing Filipino martial arts and Indonesian martial arts since 1997. Further into my martial art career, I started choreographing fight scenes with a fight team for production companies in Detroit. Well, one in particular named Coattail Collective, who are wonderful. I wrote a short film, which we produced, called Catfishing. It was a heck of a lot of fun, and that was my first writing experience. I wrote a web series for them called The Agency, which was heavy action and like a spy espionage kind of series, which was a lot of fun. And then we moved to Texas. But during that time, I got the writing bug. And that's when I had the idea in 2018. What would happen if nothing could die? So then I started writing that one. I really didn't put it on paper. I just kind of developed the world for a long time. It wasn't until the pandemic hit
Hmm.
where everybody was just like sitting around stressed out, like texting all of our friends to check on them, right? And
Hmm.
this other guy, my other associate in the production company, was like, "What are you working on?" I'm like, "This is my idea." And I kind of hashed out, and he was like, "You have a lot of good stuff here." He's like, "Why haven't you written this down?" I don't know. I should, huh? So it's like I wrote the script, and then I didn't know what to do with it. It was like push it to Netflix, pitch it here, pitch it there. That's a really difficult journey to try and pitch to Netflix. Let me tell you, because they
Hmm.
won't even talk to you. You have to hire an agent so that way you can start communication with them. So that's its own thing, and maybe someday we'll get there, but not right now. But my husband read
Okay.
the script. My husband read the script, and he was like, "This is a comic book." And it's like, ding ding. I mean, like, we've read comic books for years. We're huge Image fans. We read East of West, Walking Dead, Invincible, Oblivion Song, Low, Nail Biter. It's like I can go on and on. Saga.
Hmm.
There's so many that I was just caught up with like writing screenplays for production that I couldn't see past myself. So my husband was like, "Hey, this is what we need to do." And he was 100% right. So in 2020, we started looking for an illustrator, and I had a little struggle with that. Like I had some people come on that were excellent artists, but maybe didn't have the amount of time to commit to it that we needed. So we went through a couple. We're all still friends. They're all wonderful artists. In fact, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
our the variant covers that you see were all these artists that were involved in the past. So they're all still part of the project in different ways. But I met Marco DeFillo, who did the cover and all the interior art. Um, this year? No, 2021. No, I forget. I forget when we met. Marco, don't kill me. But I met him through Facebook in a group called Connecting Comic Book Writers and Artists, which is exactly what
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to do, right? I'm trying to find an artist. Um, and his style is beautiful. Like, if you look at the art in this comic, it's amazing. He can draw so well, he does all the paneling. I'm very hands off on the art. I give him the script. We talk about kind of what's important for the viewer to see. Um, this thing. Prince. His horse has a star on her forehead because her actual name is Diana Prince. Stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's important for the
Mm-hmm.
reader to understand visually these things, and then he does the rest. So he's fabulous. I can't say enough good things about Marco. He's amazing. So we did like 8 pages of a preview that went on to Kickstarter. And then we went live and on April 15th. We were funded May 15th. And then we've been using that money to develop the rest of the comic. We just finished the remaining pages on, I gotta say, it was like Saturday or Sunday. No, it was Friday, last week, Friday. And then we sent it to the editor. And then she catches the minor things that we didn't catch because we've been looking at the pages for so long. And
Mm-hmm.
then we fixed everything, and the PDF went out on Monday. So it's been quite a journey
Right,
from
right, right.
2018 to now. But I think that with the story, like when I wrote it, I wrote the whole first arc, right? So there's
Mm-hmm.
actually 13 issues in that first arc, and I'm writing the second arc. I think I'm 7 issues into the second arc. There'll probably be about 13 is what I'm gearing for, and then there will be at least a third arc. There is an ending I'm trying to get to, but it just depends on how long it takes me to get there. So
Right, right. And see, that see, it takes a lot of time
it
with
does.
comics because, like, because me, it took me. See, I've been drawing my whole life, but I've been
Hmm.
writing. I want to say, give or take, 10 years now, right?
Yes.
But see, you know, 17 years worth of Jarhead. I had
Right.
this in my mind. I've dreamed about it. It's a lot of stuff. See, and that's what when it comes to, you're doing something great because you're putting your all into it instead of
Yeah, it's
just
your
throwing it out
passion.
there.
Right. I mean, like
Exactly.
it's your baby, it's your passion. When you think it's great, other people will it's contagious. Your excitement is contagious. And same thing like
Exactly.
Sam and Trey that were on your show for their comic book Rise, they've
Hmm.
been working on that for 15 years too. I think that's
Exactly.
amazing. My
Yeah.
idea I worked on for 2 years, but I was able to at least solidify
Right.
it in 2 years.
Uh-huh.
But
See,
it's like,
when you're doing it, yeah, awesome. True. True.
hmm,
Awesome.
right?
See, when you're doing a creative idea, when you're doing a creative story like that, see what people, and that's what I'm saying. It's a difference between being born to do something, and it's a difference between just doing
Being
something because
driven.
it's a hobby.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Like painting or knitting
Exactly.
is a hobby for me. I can pick it up, I can put it down.
Exactly.
This is, I'm driven to do this. I am driven to
Exactly.
write. I am driven to get the comic book out there. And it's like when I put it out there, I want feedback. I want people to tell me, their reaction to reading it. Did they understand the things? It's like there's some points in the comic where it's like, I'm not sure if this quite fits, so I want to learn from that. So it's like, tell me what you think about this panel, this page. So that way I
Right.
know, like, did it come across? And a lot of people are like, yep, this came across. I'm like, good. And other things they're like, I didn't get this. And I was like, okay, I wasn't sure if it would or not. If it didn't work, we'll learn and we'll do something different next time, you know?
Right.
So,
And see, this is the thing, having a story. that equate to real life
Yeah.
is going to relate to the people that is really striving and starving for something that is relatable to them. See, and this is the thing. Is think about it like this: you've been doing it for 2 years,
Wow.
but it's in your
2018 is more. It's what, 5 years now? Shit.
5 years,
Excuse me.
right?
It's 5 years
Right.
now. It was two
Yeah.
years writing, and now
Right.
we're 5 years into it.
Right. Exactly. And see, but think about it. Like when you're born to do something, or the reason why I say born to do it is like it's in your psyche, it's in your DNA, it's
Yeah.
in your
Yeah.
heart, it's in your spirit to do it. And that is something that comes from, it's like Michael Jordan. He was born to play basketball, born to be the
Right.
greatest of all time. And when it comes to players like, okay, that is on the left side, he had the potential, but did he have the work ethic? Was he born to do
Right.
this? He was born to do something else because not a lot of people are born to do it. You know what I'm saying? Not a lot of
Mm.
people are born to become great basketball players. They may make it to the NBA, but are they going to be great at it?
But do we know who they are? Everybody knows Michael
Exactly.
Jordan. I'm not a big sports fan, but I know who Michael Jordan is. So,
Exactly.
yeah, and I think that's the difference. Um,
Exactly. And see,
and it's
and that.
it's been fun to go through like what I've been going through with this process because I've been meeting so many other passionate
Hmm.
comic book people like the Zombie Live Troupe, like Brandon and Sam and Trey. They have Avalon and they have Rise. Both of them have Kickstarters live right now. If anybody's watching and you want to back something, go check them out. There's my project, you know what I mean? Like we just keep finding like people.
Hmm.
Gary, Jason Alexander, and his stuff is mind blowing. Like I could just go on and on about all the people, Ronnie that I've met, that
Hmm.
have just amazing stuff. A lot of it's on the web, or you can buy directly from these people. And it's so important to support these indie comic book creators because we don't have publishers. This is our money and blood and sweat we're putting into these projects. And if you can see from me how passionate I am about these, all of these creators are passionate about their projects. Find something that that you works for you, or word level, or a PDF copy. Like my PDF copy is $5. Anybody can
Hmm.
jump in and get involved in this story for $5, and that's a steal, I think. To be part of a following and part of a world, and it's like for me, there's can we talk about the other stuff?
Go ahead, talk about
Yeah,
it.
okay, okay.
Whatever you want to say.
So specifically for Path of the Pale Rider, the world is so big. It's just giant, and there's so many things that are happening in the world that it's hard for me to put it all in the comic. It's like you follow Jude's path, but if stuff is happening and it's not happening at the place where Jude is at, you don't get to see
Hmm.
it, right? So what I
Hmm.
did is I expanded to other media. So I come from production. We are producing a short film for every single comic that comes out. So, for example, our first Kickstarter went out. We actually filmed a commercial for the undead retirement community called Pine Fox. So it's like you get to see the commercial. It looks like a legitimate retirement home commercial, but we're gearing it towards undead people. It's like you don't get to see until the end that there's actually an undead kid in the video. Like
Right, right,
it's
right, right.
but I interspliced it with these serene pictures of like grass blowing in the wind and ponds and
Right.
windmills, and then there's like static, and then there's like riots and fire and shooting and police. It's like there's a juxtaposition of what the world wants you to think is happening versus what is happening. And that's,
Exactly.
true to what we're living through today. It's like the media may provide you with one image. You got to do your research, people. Go looking around. Oh, Ian, come along. You belong. Feel the fizz. It's like, it's really cool. But it's like, so you can actually go to my Kickstarter page or to my YouTube or to my Facebook group, and you can see the short film. And the cool thing about these, I made them interactive. So the next one we're working on is actually called Conspiracy Theories. So everybody gets to tell me what they think broke the death process. And it could be anything: aliens,
Hmm.
government, chemical virus, meteor fell from sentient yogurt. I don't know. It could be anything. You guys can make up whatever you want. Film yourself for a minute to 30 seconds, and you can send me the footage, and I'm going to compile everything into a short film. So when we go to the next Kickstarter, guess what? We're going to have a short film that you can be part of the world. It's cool.
Right. And
So we did that.
you know, and that's something that a lot of people are not comfortable with doing. And I'm just saying, that's why I said in this industry you gotta be creative.
Well, you
Be
have to do something
creative.
to stand out,
Mhm.
right? And like I said, this is my baby, this is my passion project, and there's so many other things that we can talk about and explore with additional content. So that was
Exactly.
part two. Part three, I did something else too. Okay, so every issue that comes out, the back cover or somewhere along there will have a riddle for you to solve.
Mhm.
And if you
Mhm.
solve the riddle, something might happen. It will take you to a place in the real world. So either a web
Mhm.
page, a podcast, it might be a phone number to call. I could send you like something in the mail. There's just there's it's going to be very, I don't know what you meta, where you can actually interact with the world itself.
Mhm.
Plus, you get to solve a riddle, which will be fun. So I'm getting really creative. We might have like red reveal, Morse code, scratch off codes. It's like I'm gonna post more stuff about how to solve the riddles. I've had a few people solve the riddle for the first issue. It's the back cover. But come on, people, solve the riddle. It's much more fun if we go do it together. And then I can really get creative and do fun stuff. So I have a bunch of things planned for that too. So,
And
and of
have
course,
fun while you're doing it.
exactly. I'll have fun. You'll have fun. We'll have fun together. And it's all within the
Exactly.
confines of Path of the Pale Rider. It'll be a good
Exactly.
time. Come along. Shenanigans
Exactly.
abound.
Exactly. And that's why I
Whew.
say not many, building a foundation for this is going to take a little time. Why I say that is like
Yeah.
this. You're going to come up with more ideas after ideas after ideas. And you're going to have it that is because I know just like me, you're a character generator. You
Yes.
know what I'm saying? You generate character. You could think, see me, I could think of a character just by looking at a fan. I could think of an idea just yeah.
I gotta share a story. So a friend of mine, we were chatting about, he was watching just random YouTube videos about shooting wild boar in Texas. And I was like,
Mhm.
that is such a I came up with a completely new story based off of what he was watching. And I was like, hurry, write this down before I lose it, and I could develop it later. But yes, it's like,
Mhm.
it doesn't matter. You could be walking down the street and an idea pops in your head. It's like, write it down, right?
Right. And
Just
it's
totally random
crazy.
stuff.
Right. And it's crazy. I get most of my ideas from movies. If I'm
Yes.
watching a horror movie, I get an idea for a villain. If I'm watching
Mm-hmm.
a movie with action movie, I get a character from that. It's a lot of things. My mind is
Yeah.
always going.
You
And
know,
hmm
I was going to say
go ahead.
another thing I like to do is when I'm watching when I'm trying to write something, like
Hmm.
at the end of the second arc, I have a giant battle, big battle.
Hmm.
I'm not going to say with who because it'll spoil everything, but there's a giant battle. So then I started watching things like that resonate with me as a good battle, like season, I don't know, 6 of Game of Thrones, the one that had Battle of the Bastards. Fabulous battle, right? We all felt
Hmm.
something, and there was like a beginning, a middle, a turn, an end, a twist. What made that so good? You know what I mean? So then you
Hmm.
have to like break it down and study it. Another one that was really good was like one of the Pirates of the Caribbean when it was like the 3 ships in the
Hmm.
maelstrom and they're going around, they're shooting each other and they're going from ship to ship, but it's like it was character driven. So like what Captain Jack Sparrow was doing was turning the tide, and like there's a whole battle with Will and what's her face where they got married in the middle of the battle. Like that, what?
Hmm.
That's crazy. And it's like it ends up where he gets stabbed in the heart and they have to save him, and it's like, oh, such a good moment. But it's like, how
Right.
do you break that down? What aspects of that were exciting, and how do I interpret that into what I'm writing? So that way
Right.
people can enjoy, the character driven action, the payoff, the twist, maybe a sacrifice. I mean, I don't think I've said this in this interview, but we kill just about everybody in this comic. I mean, everybody dies. And
Exactly.
well, you get to be undead because nobody dies. But it's like we kill you. And in fact, there was a backer level from our first Kickstarter where we would draw you into the comic, and yeah, we're gonna we're gonna draw you, and
Mhm.
we'll probably immediately kill you, maybe with one or two exceptions. So that's part of the fun. You know what I mean? You could be in the comic. There I am. Oh nope, now I'm dead.
Exactly. And
Fun
you
time.
see, when it comes to an idea criteria, you have to be able to build something from nothing. You know what I mean?
But
And
it's like yes and no. It's like you want to be
right.
inspired by what's around you, what makes you feel either good,
Hmm.
bad, whatever, but you want to make it your own, make it unique in some way, shape, or form.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You can't be redundant. You don't want, it's like a lot of people look at my cover and they see a cowboy and a horse and a zombie and they're like, oh, it's The Walking Dead. It's not. It's not anywhere
Not at
close to The
all.
Walking Dead. But I'm a huge fan of Robert Kirkman. So if you see an
Uh-huh.
homage to Walking Dead, it's because I love that property. I love Invincible.
Hmm.
I love Dune. I love Mad Max. I love I Am Legend. You're going to see all of that come through,
And
but in my
that's
way,
that's why, yeah,
right?
exactly.
Quentin
She liked it her
Tarantino,
way.
right? You're gonna enjoy lots of carnage and bad stuff. I mean, like even in issue one, people are at the end like, "Son of a, like Laurie, why did you?" And I'm like, I had to. It's like you have to. I had to show people how terrible this world is right from the get go,
Right.
and then we can move on and show you other things. But the world in of itself is really the main antagonist of this whole story. The way that the world
Hmm.
functions is heartbreaking and destructive, and it's just terrible to be there. And how do you survive? So this guy has survived for 10 years. He must be doing something right. He must know something. But even though
Hmm.
he's a veteran in this world, he still makes mistakes that cost him dearly.
And
So that's what,
that's
yeah, that's what you'll find. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, 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 go.
No,
Yeah,
I was
like
just, I'm just geeking out on my own stuff because
no, no, you're
that's what
good.
I
You're
do.
good. You're good. You're good. So, what do you feel that? What do you feel about your project
hmm
that is unique about? What's unique about it that you love to do? What makes it
Well,
unique, basically?
the world in and of itself is unique. I don't think I've seen, read, or I don't know. I just haven't seen anything like the way our world works and the way that we're telling the story with multimedia. Now, let me take that back. I have seen it done with other things, which I liked. For example, The Matrix, right? It was a movie, and then there was like the Animatrix, there was the video game, there was the PC game. So you could experience The Matrix in other media. I'm a Matrix fan, so I got to experience that, and I really like that. But for a comic
Right,
book, has it been done before? I don't think so.
right.
So it's like you'll get to experience whatever level you choose. If you just want to read the comic, that's cool. That's where all the death, dying, and destruction is. That's the meat and potatoes, right? That's the main storyline. If you want
Hmm.
to watch our TikToks, if you want to watch our short films, and you can experience more in like a video or like a movie production kind of format, you can do that. If you want to participate in the riddles and see how, where that leads, you can do that too. So it's like it's really up to you as the viewer of the to take it wherever you want, and experience it as in whatever way, shape, or form you want to. So that's why I think we're different. You know what I mean? Got
Exactly.
lots of moving parts.
Oh,
And you could be a
well,
part of
hey.
it too. We can draw you in. You can send in, film, and I can put you in the short film. So you can even do that. You can participate and be a part of the world if you want to.
Uh-huh. Do that. You see, there you go.
See, I want
That's
I want you to do a short. I want you to send me a clip of you talking about your conspiracy theory. I want to hear it. I want to know what you think. I
exactly. Is she?
know you
Is
have a
she?
good one.
Who, me or the people?
Yeah, you. I'm sure
Me?
you have ideas about what broke the death process in this world, and I want to hear
Who?
what you think
Who?
in
Me?
the short film. Yes,
Who?
you.
Me? Me?
Yes, of
Who? Me?
course.
Me?
No, you don't
Ah,
know, right?
the guy behind you. Yeah.
Right.
Nah, nah. I actually see what I would do. I got an idea. I got an idea.
Hmm? Lay it
How
on
about we
me.
do this? How about we do this? I want to do something with you that could bring about a a curveball.
You're keeping me in suspense here. Tell me more.
Well, that could be a part in the book where my character, hmm, my character Jarhead,
Jarhead?
can come in and be like, say, for example, you dealing with the military, right? So,
Yes.
okay, you're dealing with the military, so why not, let's work on something where the
We
military
could have a
comes into your
crossover.
world.
Oh,
Exactly.
the military is in my world. Absolutely. You will see them
Exactly.
a lot because when the government's like, "Okay, we're done messing around. We're going to start making changes." You're going to see them, right?
Exactly. And that's why I said
Hmm.
if you build something, see, that's what I mean by building bridges. Because you never
Mhm.
know whose story and your story and another person's story can come together as one to maybe y'all two can make
Do a
revenue for
crossover.
each other.
Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely. If your viewers, and your readers for Jarhead would like my story, absolutely come along. It's like if I can bring people that would enjoy your story along and find you, that's when we all win. You know what I mean? Because if
Exactly.
people if people love comics like we do, if they love a good story, they'll come along. And
Exactly.
just look at, okay, I'm going to talk about Robert Kirkman again as my example because
Go
people
ahead, do
know
your
who he
thing.
is, right?
Say how you
Because it's
feel.
like
Say how you feel.
everybody knows Walking Dead.
Uh-huh.
Invincible is just getting its own animated series, but Invincible has been around longer than Walking Dead. Completely different genres, right? We
Uh-huh.
got zombie world and we got superhero world. Completely different. Still wonderful. So it's like if people, like one genre and then they find out he does all these other things, and then they can enjoy all those other properties too. So it's like, why wouldn't we talk about our projects together so that way people, it's like if they don't know, how can they come support you? They don't know.
And it's crazy too, basically, how could it's like sitcoms back in the day. Like,
Yeah.
how could the Cosby Show integrate with a different world? You know what I mean?
Well, they did
And
this all
how
the time
could
with like kids
with
cartoons,
sitcoms?
right? Well, not
Yeah,
even
they do
that,
it all
like
the time.
Spider-Man, and and they bring in the Avengers for a Spider-Man cartoon.
Exactly. And
And
they
like of
bring in
course all
like,
the DC cartoons had each other in it.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and
They're still doing
they
it.
had yeah they had like I remember in the X-Men old cartoons, they had Spider-Man make an appearance one
Did
episode.
he? I'll have
Yeah,
to go back and watch. I don't remember Spider-Man being in there.
I remember because I remember one time where Spider-Man made an appearance in the story, or
In the
was that
X-Men
the
story?
in the
I'll
action?
have to go back
Because
and watch.
I haven't seen it in a while, but I think it was a I think it was Wolverine made an appearance in a Spider-Man cartoon.
Well,
I got to
that
go
I
back
believe.
and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I got to
Well,
go
they
back
put
and
Wolverine in everything, right?
yeah, because
Because
Yeah, because Wolverine is
Wolverine,
the shit, you know.
it's all
But
the excuse you need. It's just kind of like Batman. If you could be anybody, be yourself.
mhm,
Unless you can be Batman and then be Batman, right? It's like, come on,
yeah,
be Batman, be
exactly,
Wolverine. I'm good with that.
exactly. Teamwork make the dream work. You damn right, Donnie. You're damn right, Mister Don.
Uh,
Yeah, and you know, see, and that's the thing. You know, we as people, right? We could do things. We could do whatever we want. See, Marvel and DC, they can't do that without the investors coming against them on it. You know, and
oh,
let's do
don't
it
get
like
me
this.
started on them.
No, we ain't gonna get started. Forget them. But I would say, you know, if you're gonna build something like that, you got to go all the way in. You got to go all the way in.
Absolutely.
Cause
Well, I
see,
mean,
let's go back. Let's go back on Jarhead's standpoint. Standpoint.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Book two, right, of Jarhead. You
How many books of
have.
Jarhead do you have? Sorry.
I have one. Reason
One book?
is one book, but I'm working on. We're working on book two, which that is on standstill at the moment. Financial issues,
Oh.
you know.
I
But
mean, I get it. Dude, you got
you
a
know,
Kickstarter.
we're supposed to be doing a Kickstarter soon.
Cool.
But I'm really on the edge about that because I have to trust people, and I don't know.
Well, you
So
want to make sure that you plan accordingly. You want to make sure that before you go live, you have people that know about your project. You want some people because you can do like the pre-launch, button. So you want to make
mhm,
sure you have people lined up to back you when you go live, and you want to make sure you have a plan to advertise before and during all the way through your campaign. Like that's the only
right,
way. That's what I learned from our one. I mean, I've only done one, but we were successful, and that's what I learned is like you can't just do like 2 weeks of promotion and then expect everybody to find you. They won't. But they will
right,
find you and they will back you as long as you're consistently marketing, right? That's what we talk.
exactly. Yeah, no, you know
So,
exactly. That marketing is my game, but but to be honest with you, okay, your story is kind of like my story in a way.
really?
It's kind of like Jarhead's story. Why? Is because
Hmm.
it's like this. Okay, Jarhead's story is filled with vampires,
Okay.
werewolves, angels, demons, you know, reptilians, God, all of that built into one.
You
Cause
just
see,
covered them
Jarhead,
all.
exactly. I'm covering them all.
Just throw them all
Jar,
in there. Good luck,
right,
buddy.
right, exactly, exactly. And you see, and notice, and what I'm gonna give people a gem here. Jarhead is just that. Jarhead is a human mixed with a it mixed with the angel, right?
Mm,
Now, what people don't understand is that if you look back in the Bible, hmm, there are mysteries missing. There are mysteries
mm.
that not there's stuff in the Bible that you don't that nobody knows about.
Well, I
And
mean, aren't there scripts that they're still finding? They're like the Dead Sea Scrolls, you know what I mean? Where they're still
exactly,
finding things.
and there are mysteries that you will not know because there are mysteries that's not even in the Bible that
Correct. Yeah. I mean, if they
that
didn't
God will want
record
to
it.
tell people. That's because
Hmm.
us as people, we we're like it's like this, okay? If people will open up their spiritual ears and eyes, they will see more than what the physical eye can see. And their spirit will hear. They're basically, if people would deny the flesh, what I mean by deny the flesh is that basically the flesh is against you. And people and spiritually and know God like I do, they know what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Hmm.
So
Yes.
basically, meaning like this: focus, understand something spiritual, right? And really, really dig deep. You'll find stuff under the surface that you've never seen before, right? It's like
Yeah. You know what, though? I think people are terrified by that stuff.
exactly
I
they are.
honestly think
Why? Is because they don't know anything about it. They only know what's on
Yeah.
the surface, on top of the surface. It's like for example, okay, you know how you know how when ice cream gets really cold
Yeah, it's hard as a rock.
and it's hard as a rock, right? It's hard as a motherfucking
Hmm.
rock. But notice that when you get to the bottom, it's very creamy. It is very still melted at the bottom because it's not all the way frozen.
Hmm.
That's how the spirit is. That's how the spirit is. It's hard at the top
Creamy
because
at the bottom.
creamy at the
Sorry,
bottom.
just kidding.
You might
I
want
know
to
what
take
you're
that.
saying. I just had to say it because it's funny.
But it's just you just
Creamy
gotta
spirit.
understand it. It's just understand it. If you really understand it, it's very beautiful. But
Hmm.
it's common sense, you know. But back to Jarhead. Okay, Jarhead
Yes,
is a human mixed with an angel. Okay,
right?
and along the way, he's going to go through werewolves and all that shit because werewolves are bad and vampires are bad, right? What do you
Maybe.
think? Okay, have you ever? Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
It was like just
rep,
depends on how you write them. Sometimes you read the story and the werewolf is the good guy. I don't know.
yeah, you know. But now, see, I'm gonna hit you with a kicker. Did you know? Did you know reptilians? What are reptilians?
What are reptilians? They're
What are they?
cold-blooded.
They're basically a. They're basically the altar of the human species, right?
They're like the opposite.
They're the opposite.
Yeah,
They're
because
not
we're
what you call
warm-blooded, caring, and they're more like detached, cold-blooded, right?
right.
Yeah.
But see, wrote the villain, right? I had to go into a dark space, dark spot in me as a person. See, people don't understand when you're attached to something and when you really love something and you really want to put it down on paper. An artist, we have a dark spot and we have a light spot, right? Jarhead is light
Yes.
and Demented Deuce is darkness, right?
Yep.
So
I feel you. Jewett is like the only light spot in this. I'm
exactly.
very dark. It's very dark here. So
But in the
sorry.
darkness, there's light as well. Think
There
about it.
are. There's pockets, and you'll see them too. Like even in my first issue, you'll see, some things that are okay in the world, but it's like most of it's pretty difficult to get
Right.
through. So I feel you. I feel you.
And it's like, okay, book two, there's a part where Dimitri comes up. Dimitri is like the guy that was sent to kill Jarhead, right? In the beginning of in book one. He was
Right?
sent with Demented Deuce's henchmen, right, to kill Jarhead, right? But Jarhead, they were Jarhead's handlers. You know what I'm saying? Jarhead
Hmm.
was into some weird shit back in the day. You know what I'm saying? So, but Ben's though they didn't kill him, you know what I'm saying? And they knew they didn't kill him. Everybody else died. The henchman died. Dimitri left. It took off while they was getting killed, right?
Oh.
So he went over to the boss, Demented Deuce, and Demented Deuce is like he's like one of those old fashioned villains where he's in his office and you see half of his face in the darkness and half of his face is in the light, and he's sitting
I
there
I can
and
see
he
that in my
lifts
head.
and he pushes up, and Dimitri is telling him, "Yo, boss, such and such and such, Jarhead is not dead. We gave him all we had." And Dimitri Deuce looks up at him with his tongue slithering because he's
Oh
a
no.
reptile. He's a
Right.
reptilian mixed with a human, and he's like that's basically the devil within,
Right.
if you know what I mean. But
Yes.
okay, while
You
he's
said that.
slithering, while his tongue is slithering, He says to him, he gets up and he walks over to the front of him, and he says to Dimitri, never send a boy to do a man's job, and he shoots him in the head. Boom!
Ha! That's a good twist. I like it.
In the head, and his you see blood and guts of blood and brains fly over to the page, splash page. And that is the beginning of
Of
book
book
two.
two. Nice. See, in the beginning of my arc, it's my second arc, it's the same kind of thing. Like I kind of wrap everything up. I don't answer all the questions, but
Hmm.
it's like, oh, we're walking into the sunset, blam, and then I blow everything up again. It's just done.
Exactly.
So it's like you can't let them be complacent. It's like it's kind of like a TV show. It's like you want to open the whole season with something exciting, have something exciting in the middle and then have
Right.
something exciting at the end. It's like, you have your
Hmm.
three acts, but you also want to do each episode to have something exciting at the end so everybody wants to come back for the next one. So it's like I
Exactly.
wish that we could just, get rid of money and I could just
Uh-huh.
do this comic book full time, and it's like if we could just keep doing issues one after the other, that would be great. But unfortunately, the real world is here and people like Marco need to be paid. So it's like
Right.
so we have to Kickstarter, dang it.
Yeah.
So but
You damn
someday it's
right.
like,
Right. And you know what?
it's
I
okay.
got an,
We'll
I got another
Kickstarter. We'll
question.
do it. Yeah.
I got another question for you. Um, Out of all those characters that you have in your story,
Yeah.
which character
Oh.
is close to your heart, and which character reminds you of you?
Now, okay. There is a
And it was a hard
character.
question. I told you
I
I'm
was like,
coming.
it's
I
it's
told
only
you.
hard because we're on issue one and you haven't met most of the characters. I spent issue one introducing how terrible the world is. So really you only got to meet like Jude and Prince. And that's about it. There's some other minor characters that he basically interacts with, but you don't learn any of their names and they're kind of like, okay, we've moved on and you don't, they're done. There are reoccurring characters that you will meet. There's one that he talks about in the comic, who's a fabulous character, but there is a female character coming, you guys, and she is near and dear to my heart. She's a fighter. She's tough as nails. Um, that's all I can really say about her because I don't want to spoil the story. But you'll meet her. You will meet her, and it's she changes everything. Everything. It's like Jude has this idea of what he thinks is going on and what he's gonna find, and when he finds her, everything changes. And it's like, oh no.
Okay, so
so
is
so her. So I
she
can't name her, but yes,
is she okay? I'm gonna ask you a question. Ask you a question.
yeah.
Is she Jude's love interest?
I can't say.
Ah, see, I had to get you on that one. I had to get you on that
I don't want to
one.
give anything away about her. Let's just say this: when he meets her, he has like the cartoon hearts like whoa 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 coming out of his eyes at her. So he hopes so, but we'll see. Hi, Dennis. Thank you. We're having fun, as you can see.
He
So
knows my show is
yeah.
bangers all the time.
So yeah, and you know what's funny? I have never talked about this character in any of the other interviews. So at least not. I think I have mentioned that there's a female character and she's a fighter, but I haven't really said anything else about her. So for anybody that's watching this show, you got something new tonight because
It's because I'm special. That's
well,
why.
you're asking different questions than everybody else. So yeah.
Because I'm great at this stuff. I'm nosy.
Well, that's good. Oh man, someone else. I'm not gonna name names, but it was one of the zombie bros, and they were like, "We're gonna figure out what it is, and Laurie's gonna tell us." And I'm like, "No, I'm not." But they were guessing all these things, and I was like, "Oh, they're so close," but I don't want to tell them that. So,
See, okay, you got me wanting to say something more about Jarhead, right?
yeah, yeah. Well, let me ask you this: what's Jarhead's main goal in the series? Like, is he trying to Stop the bad guys, put them away, like in my story,
Well,
Judah's trying to figure out what broke the death process, right? So that's his main goal. What's Jarhead's main goal?
Jarhead's main goal, right? What
Yeah.
people don't know, what I need people to understand is that he's out for justice for the killing of his parent.
Ooh.
that was his main goal right there, right?
So he wants
But
justice or
he wants justice for the killing of his parents, right? He wanted to find the killer, kill him, and that's it. That's it. He wanted to go back to
so
his merry life.
vengeance.
Vengeance,
Vengeance.
right? But
Okay.
there was a curveball thrown in, right? He
Okay.
needs God along the way of this. And God be like, no, 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 no,
Like vengeance is not a good thing. Right. We know that.
no, no. See, what people don't understand is that God is a God of war.
This
When
is well,
God is a
I
God
mean,
of
yes.
God is a God of war, right? And He will fight with you to fight your battles, right? You
This is
fight
true.
the battle is His, but you still also got to do footwork as well. You got to
Mhm.
have faith, and that's a battle in itself,
Mhm.
right? Now, see, what people don't understand is that what Jarhead is, he's a soldier, right? He came
Mhm.
from the military, right? He's a Marine, right? He's an ass
Right?
kicker, right?
Right?
Okay, so
Hoorah.
hoorah! But
Hoorah, right?
I love that saying. But when he meets God along the way, God teaches him his whole who he is and what he is. You know what I'm saying? His whole
Mhm.
purpose is to basically exact vengeance upon the wicked. God's
Okay,
vengeance upon the
so
wicked.
he's the
Think about it.
opposite of Spawn. I love it.
He's the
Spawn
opposite of
is
Spawn.
right. Right.
Yeah, he's opposite of Spawn. So what people don't understand is that he's not murdering anybody. He's not murdering innocent people. He's murdering. He's taking out the wicked people. Mm,
Well, usually if they're reptilian or they're demonic, then it's like you
exactly.
got to go.
Right. What people don't understand is that that Jarhead is basically God's judgment. Is a judge. He's the angel of
Hmm.
judgment. With Jesus, blah, blah, blah. I can't speak now.
See, I know. Now it's your turn to do that. Dang it.
See, now when Jarhead is trying to get him to understand, see, in book one, you'll hear Michael say what people don't understand. Michael the Archangel. What people don't
Hmm.
understand is that when they read the book one, you hear Michael say, what? How does it feel to be dead?"
So,
And Jarhead is like, "Dead? The hell you mean dead?"
did you just
And
spoil it? You can't spoil
whoa,
your own. Okay, I'm like, did you just
mm,
major spoiler?
no, I didn't
I'm
spoil
listening.
that.
Continue. 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 I'm sorry.
See, Jarhead is the judgment angel, so he does everything judgment. He exacts
Okay.
God's vengeance upon the judgment, upon the wicked. So he's defending God's people. You get what I'm saying? He's
Yes. Yeah.
defending the
Yeah.
people of God,
Yeah. So,
right?
okay.
He's a
So in your
he's an
story,
Israel.
how long is your book, by the way? How many pages?
Book two is
No,
40
book
pages.
one. Okay, book one is how many pages?
Book one is 24,
24.
but
Okay.
with the posters and the dedication letter to the military,
That's
it's
cool.
28 pages.
Okay. So in your that's actually not hmm.
That's
Did you
almost
give
30
yourself
pages.
enough time? Yeah, I know, but with the dedication pages it's not, you know what I mean? Did you give yourself a big enough space to tell that whole arc? That's
No.
amazing if you could squeeze it in there. Um
Reason is because I wanted to give the people something to
to come back.
yeah,
I
they're
hear
drinking
you.
milk right now. They're drinking milk right now.
Yeah.
Keep it like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But when I give them book two, that's the full meal of 1 meal. That's half of a cake. Okay, that's a piece. That's the lower layer of the cake. You know what I mean?
I'm
That's
enjoying your
low.
metaphors. You got milk and cake. I'm good. I
Yeah,
want milk
lower
and cake.
level. Yes, that's a
We
lower
get
level
cookies
of a
too.
cake. Cookies too. The cream of the crop.
There
As
you go.
cookies too. Now, see, they're
That
chewing
you went
on
from
meat now.
24 to 40 pages. That's a
Yes,
big jump.
that's a big chunk before because I have a lot to tell, and this is an ongoing series. So Jarhead
Hmm.
books will never stop. They will never stop. They will never keep on going, keep on going, keep on going until I'm dead. The
Well, as
reason
long as you
is,
have a story that's compelling that people are wanting to come back for, absolutely continue it. Um,
see, because like that, like the vampires. All the vampires are stuff that like I've dreamed of when I was younger. There's
mhm.
stuff that I've seen, like stuff that I saw in my dreams. Like people don't understand what you. I write everything that I seen. I write everything that I feel. I write everything that I deal with, not as a person, but in spirit. You see what I'm saying? And
Yes.
uh, what succubus? You ever heard of a succubus spirit?
Yeah.
That is a form of a vampire.
Right.
That is a vampire spirit. Spirit of a vampire. It sucked the blood. Well, what they're doing, the sucking your spirit, sucking the life out of you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And what I mean is that like this is that when when I built Jarhead, Jarhead was when I was building him, when I first built him, and a lot of people who met me back then, you hear me?
Yes. I'm sorry I had to fiddle with
Um,
something. It was goofing up. Oh no! In your face show. Da 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 da. Me by myself. Come back! Technical difficulties. There you are. uh,
Sorry about that,
there you
guys.
are.
Sorry about that. My
I was
fault.
like,
It's the situation. It's
I sang
something.
the In Your Face Show song to entertain people while you were gone. So we're good.
No, but what I was saying is that what I was saying is that when I was doing the Jarhead backstory, something clicked. It was like put everything that you've seen, everything that you dealt with, everything in your story, right?
Yeah.
All of these characters, every character that I put in my stories are real people that I've come in contact with. Like
Which
Jarhead,
is
okay.
scary,
It's scary, but
considering your content. Just
yeah,
saying.
and see, but what people don't understand is that see when I'm building something, I build with heart. You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean. I never get tired of creating. I create when I don't even want to create.
Yeah.
I'm a creator at heart, and that's my nature.
I have these moments where like I'm half awake. Like you get up, go to the bathroom, have a drink of water, and you're laying back in bed and you're only like half awake. I feel
Uh-huh.
like those moments, I get the best ideas that pop into my head. I keep a notebook next to my bed for that reason, where it's like I might write down only 3 words because I'm not really awake, just so I don't lose it completely. But I've had like the best um, story ideas to further my story from
Uh-huh.
when I'm half asleep. It's
Uh-huh.
weird, right?
See, that's the thing too. Sometimes when you're sleeping and when you're half asleep, there's something that will wipe away that idea.
Right. So you gotta write it down.
Yeah, and see me, I don't know if people know this, but I have a lock switch in my mind. What I mean is that like if I am thinking of something or thinking of a story arc that I want to put in my book or books, I lock it into my mind and I don't forget about it. I keep thinking about it, thinking
Yeah.
about it, thinking about it, thinking about it. and I built goals on top of that with it. You know what I mean? Because it's like this too. And this is what I know, and I know for sure. I already know that Jarhead is going to be big, strong, big, and what I mean by that is the whole world will get to see it. How I know
That's
that?
cool.
I already seen it. I already dreamed it. I already know it. And if you don't, if something that you're doing, if you're doing something and you don't dream about that, you don't, you gotta, you got to believe
Gotta
it,
dream big, right?
dream fucking big,
Have
dream the
to.
biggest you can dream about it because it's going to come true. It's going to
Yeah, and
come
that's
true
kind of
whether
like that's what we're pushing towards too. It's like you can
yeah,
have your short-term goal. Like my first short-term goal is to just get the comic out there and let people start
right,
reading it. Kickstarter, and then keep pushing out issues when we can. We'd like to do a little faster, but um, we probably won't be able to Kickstarter until December because of tax reasons. Like if you Kickstarter and you get Kickstarter funds in 2022 and you don't fulfill until 2023, there's big tax consequences. So
right,
it's like we could be ready in September, but trying to fulfill everything in December before the end of the year might be a little too quick, and it could, possibly create some tax consequences for both myself and Marco. So unfortunately, that's the case.
yeah,
But we could, I mean, like potentially get out 3 or 4 episodes a year. And that's what we're striving for. You know what I mean? My next goal is let's find a publisher who will help us print this bad boy and bring in readers. Obviously we want to have Image as our publisher. Image probably will get us the biggest readership and their creator owned property. So again, they're not going to pay Marco. I will still have to pay Marco, but they'll print the book and they'll bring us in readers, and we can grow leaps and bounds with someone like them. Or like I think I who else did I pitch to? Behemoth, Happy Tank, Scout. Like these are all names that I'm familiar with that I have read their comics as well. So they're all good. I'm not picky. Let's just go, right? Let's go.
right,
And then eventually, once we get a following and we can get people that are invested in our story and our characters, yeah, I'd like to see it as a screenplay how I intended it. So either as a live
mhm,
action or maybe an animated series like Castlevania that was on Netflix was awesome. But I know
mhm,
Netflix just canceled like all of their animated series pretty much, so that
mhm,
might not be the way that we go, but eventually I would love to see it live action because I think that would
mhm.
do the story the most justice. You know?
Well, see, that's the thing too. I gave the people an appetizer, but I don't know if
Mhm.
people understand it though. I don't know if people are going
Well,
to see. Okay, okay. I gave
that's
the
the
people an
burden of being
appetizer.
a creator. It's like you have this image and you have this idea, but how do you convey it so that people can understand it? That's the hard
Right.
part,
See.
right?
I'm stuttering, damn it. I got it. I got the. Okay. I gave them an appetizer. I keep stuttering. I don't know why. I gave
Because
them
you're
an
excited about it,
appetizer. I gave.
right?
Yeah, awesome, very appetizing. I gave them an appetizer, but I don't know if they're going to catch on to it. But the Collision of the Colossus is the book to read. Why? Read book one, but book two, well, no, not book two, but Collision of the Colossus is going to give you what you are looking for in action. Why? Is because I am putting something in there that is being put that is going to blow your fucking mind. And
I
what
feel
I
that way about
mean,
my comic too. I get you.
very awesome, very awesome. And too, see, Collision of Colossus is the action book of one scene that is supposed to be in book two, but I took that out to give the people an appetizer,
Yeah.
so that
Give
way
it
that it gives
space.
them
Yeah.
exactly. See, in book two, you'll be able to go past. that scene, that fight scene, but you'll have to read Collision of the Colossus in order to get the scene, in order to get the fight scene and understand it. It's an appetizer. I took that out for a reason. And I've been thinking to make that a PDF instead of selling it physical. So what I'm gonna do
Why?
is reason is because it's a small book. It's like a 10-page book. So um
It's a one shot.
yeah, it's a one shot. Well actually it's a series within itself.
I mean, I'm planning on doing something like that too, just as an idea to for the next Kickstarter, I want to do a stretch goal where
Uh-huh.
I bring in a completely different artist. I'm going to write a one shot about something unrelated to Jude's story, but you again, it's a comic and you can experience more of the world through another artist's vision. You know what I mean? So if we can gather the funds, we'll make it happen. You know that I could pay another artist to create another, and it's just
Hmm.
a one book. You know what I mean? So it's not an ongoing
Hmm.
series, but we could do something like that with every new issue. It's like we have our main story, and then I can do a different one shot with the next one. You know, if we get to that
Exactly.
stretch goal, it's like, there might be bounty hunter story, there might be the undead underground, it might be the collectors. It's like there's all these different groups and things happening. Why not explore it, with the one shot? Why not? So that's
And
exactly what you're thinking too. I get
exactly.
you. I get you.
Haha. And
See?
haha. And see, people I want people to know that they're being introduced to another character
Mm-hmm.
from Jarhead's
Right.
from
Oh,
Jarhead's
from his lineage. So is he
lineage,
a
lineage.
predecessor or a descendant?
He's basically he's his cousin,
Ooh.
long lost
So are
cousin.
their stories are happening concurrently?
Yes.
They can
Why?
overlap.
See, because Jarhead knew this person back then, and God sent him to snap him out of the mind control of the
Gotcha.
MK Ultra that was put on him. See, the character Smash X is a he's a Hebrew. He's
Okay.
Samson's grandson.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Samson's grandson, basically.
Yes.
And basically, he has the power. He has the build. He has the power of his grandpa, but
Okay.
it's in his. They say it's in his hair, right? It's
Hair,
the
right.
power is in his hair, right? But his power is in the blood of his victims.
Ooh, that
He gets his
changes the
power from
story.
the blood of the victims that he kills,
So
right?
how does he get that power? Does he have to ingest the blood? Does he have to wear the blood?
He has to put it on his the chest. The X marks the spot.
So does he have to
So
wear it at all? What if it washes off?
it won't.
It won't. Okay.
It won't because it's like this too. The blood is permanent, just like his power is permanent.
Permanent.
The blood is permanent on his chest. It's like a tattoo. It's better than his soul. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
no matter what he does, it's like you can't run from who you are. You know what I'm saying? And
Yes.
no matter what he does, he'll always be a monster. He'll always be a beast. You know,
And that's sad. And some people just have to come to terms with who they are and what they are.
exactly. And God didn't make him to be no regular person. God made him to be a monster that towers over his victims, that towers over his, and what he's doing. His goal was the same as Jarhead: find the killer that took him away, to find the people that took him away from his family. He's a
Mm-hmm.
slave. He was born in slavery.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Smash X was born into slavery, and it goes back to the Atlantic slave trade. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It
See, what are people complaining about that you don't have a?
See,
You can
a
give
lot
a
of
voice to anything that you choose to. So just because Jarhead appears a certain way doesn't mean that they're not going to get the story they're looking for. You can have it explored in a
that's
different way.
that's because they counted out. But see,
Say
this is
what?
the thing, and that's because they counted out. And I say fuck them. And reason is
Yeah.
because I say fuck them is because Jarhead appeals to everybody, and everybody
You
is
just
gonna
have to
love him.
be true to yourself and your own story. There are people
Oh
out
yeah,
there that
oh
want
yeah.
to read it, and I'm just agreeing with you. Fuck everybody. You know what I mean? Like, as a female writer, as someone who's, I've always been interested in horror and martial arts and sci-fi, and it's like you don't find a lot of us women that are competent in these areas. I know this because I've been on so many shows and 90% of everybody is male. You know what I mean? So it's just like we're out there. There's other women that I've met in the course of this and we kind of like all became instant friends. But a lot of times the same thing. It's like where's your feminism? Where's your tell the female experience or like write Handmaiden Tale. Well, that's been done. I want to write what I want to write, and it's a good
Exactly.
story. It's a great story. I've spent a lot of time on it. Come see what I have to offer. Don't look at this. Who cares what this looks like? Read the story. Read the story.
Right.
It's
And
just
see, this is the thing.
who
What
cares?
I want to do is I want to do a Kickstarter, but I want to do it differently. I want to do it. See, if I do a Kickstarter, right? I
Yeah.
want to give the people something more, but I know that I'm not going to be able to at the moment. But what I want to do is do something that will. I got an idea. I got an idea. All right. Um, I'm going to do a launch party soon, right?
Yes.
And it's going to be a convention mixed with a launch party. So any and every creator that's got a comic book coming out and got a comic book out can be able and will be able to sell their shit there.
Okay. So is this like a online
No, this is an in person.
in person? That might be a little more difficult. Considering you're in New Jersey
No,
and I'm here in
no,
Texas.
no. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why.
Why?
Because think about it.
You flying to Texas? That's why.
If people, if people, is very, if people really think about it, you're getting your publicity on here. You're getting your promotions on here.
Plane
Yeah,
ticket.
and I got the money. But nah. I would say like this too. I would say like this too. You know what I'm saying? Also, I can do it. I can do it virtually.
That would probably be, you probably get more people virtually because anybody can do this. Like we can log on and we can all talk and share ideas and support and like in this virtual space. It's a lot harder to travel these days,
Well,
especially with
not see.
airfare being
That's the thing
crazy.
too. That's the thing too. I actually
That's just my opinion.
my roundtable discussions are will be very intricate. Why I say that is because I will put that link out there to everybody, and that's why I keep saying everybody's welcome.
Hmm.
But the first time I did it, I got stood up, and I did not like that.
I, isn't that the worst? I mean, that's my
Yes, like
biggest pet peeve where I'm like, hey,
yes.
everybody come along, we'll do these great things. And everybody's like, yeah, 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 we'll absolutely do that. And then I'm there by myself and I'm like, okay.
All right. Yeah,
Mm-mm.
but see, I was angry because I had a bad day to that day, but I wasn't happy at that time because I wanted to do it for them and not me. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because I
And
love
it's
everybody and I want to see
disappointing.
everybody happy. There's
Mm-hmm.
no haterade bone in my body. I want to see everybody happy. I want to see everybody winning.
Did you say haterade?
Yeah. I don't
Like
drink no
Gatorade?
I don't drink no haterade. You
Mm.
know, I love Gatorade, but I don't
I
drink
love
Haterade.
Gatorade. I
So
don't drink
I
Gatorade
love
either.
exactly, because
None of that.
it's like this. Like if you want somebody's position in life and getting what they want, you never know what the fuck they went through to get there. So you want to go through everything that they went through to get there. Yeah, you don't want that because it's like this.
No.
Like you don't know if they could have. You don't know they could have fucked to get there. You want to get fucked to get there? No. You don't know if they went through some crazy shit to get there. No. Everybody's situation is different. That's
Right.
why I said I want to help everybody and I want to make sure everybody is getting their fair share of the pie. So
That is very noble of you. Not
there's
everybody is like that.
yeah.
A
The
lot of people
reason
only
is
in it for
because
themselves.
I believe in passing on a blessing, and I believe in blessing everybody and making sure everybody is eating as well as I'm eating.
Yep.
But
Yep.
there go in that situation. Everybody's not going to want to see me eating because, like I said, I'm a flashy type of person. I'm a type of person that I talk about what I'm doing. Yes, it may seem like I'm being cocky, but that's just me. I mean,
Hmm.
I'm confident. I can't
It
help
does.
it.
It doesn't matter how good you are. This is the real world and the freaking internet, and there will be trolls. I've learned this. It's like as soon as you start getting traction, the trolls come out. And God bless you. Have a nice day. Move along, block, whatever. But it's like I'm not gonna let you ruin my stride or make comments about my body or whatever. It's just not appropriate. So we're just moving on. You know what I mean? So it's like it doesn't matter how good you are and how worthy
Bad,
you
you're
think your cause is. There's people that are out there that you're not for them, and that's okay.
exactly.
It's okay, right? We're
But
adults here.
I'm gonna have to curse some damn body out along the way anyway. So that's just me. If I see
It's
something, I'm
not
gonna have
worth
to.
it.
I
That's what they
know, but
want.
I
That's
know,
what they
but
want. They want
see,
your attention. They want to derail you from what you're working on by making
yeah,
you have a bad day. Don't
no, no,
engage.
no, I
Move
know.
along.
I'm just
It's
saying,
like one of those like,
this is what you get with the in your face show because the in your face show we likes to give it to you
oh,
raw
I'm
and
sorry. Yeah,
uncut.
I forgot. You get in your face. Okay, you
Yes,
do that.
damn, yes. If you see if you watch half of the other shows, trust me, you'll see that you'll see all of what you get from me because I give it raw and uncut, and that's what I'm saying. A lot of people
I'm
love
pretty
the
sure
show.
I've seen how you are just in this interview, and I have a pretty good idea. So I gotta say, you're like an
Hey,
open
that's
book. You're an open
damn
book, and that's how you're supposed to be, right?
exactly. I'm transparent. I love it. You know. I love it. I gotta tell you. I gotta see that's one thing about me. I gotta be all out there because if I can't be out there, if I can't be wild with my personality, I can't I'm just not I'll be stale. I'm not a stale cracker. I am soft and gooey on the inside.
you got that
I,
creamy spirit.
that creamy spirit. Come and taste it. Nah.
That just woo! That went right over. There's a line. You just whoosh, went right
Yeah.
past that line. Keep going.
And we're not talking in a way of sexual. We're talking in a
No,
way of
dear
love,
viewers,
damn it.
that's not what we were referring to. Just put that out there.
Because you know how some oddball, gutter-minded ass people going to say something. You know it.
It's funny.
See, that's what I'm saying. You see what I'm saying? You had the most fun in the world on this show.
Absolutely. We had a good time.
Exactly. And
Oh,
see,
before we go, can I let people know where to find me?
you can tell them anything the
Take
hell
it
you want.
away.
I don't
Take
care.
it away,
Go
Laurie.
ahead.
Take it away. All right. So if you're still watching and you want to come join Path of the Pale Rider, we got all sorts of social medias out there, and you can come play in the chaos and enjoy the shenanigans. We're gonna have lots of fun. So the main place that I interact is the Facebook group, but you have to request to join. But it's just like one question that you have to answer. Do you like comic books? And then you can come into the group. So, but that's where you're gonna see like updates and we talk. I post funny things. We play games. We talk about like what would be on you in the apocalypse, stuff like that. So the Facebook group is just Path of the Pale Rider. We have a Facebook page. I just use that for advertising, Path of the Pale Rider. We have an Instagram, which is at path underscore of underscore the underscore pale underscore rider. It's super obnoxious with the underscores, but it's just path of the pale rider with an underscore in between all the stinking words. It's annoying. It's the same, it's the same handle for our TikTok as the Instagram. So at path of the pale rider with underscores. And then we have a Twitter. It's at Path Pale Rider. If you're interested in getting a copy, either a physical copy or a PDF, PDFs are $5. They're super cheap. I have all colors. I'm sorry, all covers are still available. There's four. There's the main cover that's kind of like the background of our video right now. That I have lots left. I think I only have 8 or 9 available of the other variant covers because I ran 25 of them. I'm keeping one for myself. So out of 24, then there's like I think I have like 18 and I think one has 16. So it's like there's some left, but they won't be around forever. So if you're interested in one of those, grab those. Physical copies are $15. So if you get 2 copies, I'll sign one for you. And then of course shipping is $6. So if you get like, 1 copy, $15, add $6 for shipping. I have a PayPal. The links are all over my website. We have a shop on the website. We have merch. We have magnets and stickers and keychains and I had T-shirts, but those are sold out right now just because I already placed the order and they're here. So I need like an order of 30 before I can put another order. Whatever. You guys don't care. The point being, come along, go to our website. It's www.pathofthepalerider.com. Poke around in there. I have a blog that nobody reads, and it's like I post stuff in there just hoping someone will mention it to me someday. You know, fun times. We're gonna have lots more content. We have a YouTube. We got lots of stuff. So you're gonna be seeing lots of things developing. And the physical copy should be to me in like 2, maybe 3 weeks, and then I'm gonna start shipping them out. And then after that, we're gonna start filming the next short film. So we're gonna have some fun. And I want you to come with us. I want you to solve the riddles and see what else is out there for you. It'll be fun. That's it. That's all I have.
Hey, hey, y'all
Right?
forgot about
Hey,
me.
what
Hey,
about you? No, we didn't forget about you. Now
oh,
it's
y'all
your turn.
forgot
It's your
about me.
show.
Me?
What do you need? What do
What
you need?
about
What did I
me?
forget? Well, of
I
course,
got
thank you
something
for
for
having on the show.
you. Well,
What?
hey, got something for you.
You got something for me?
I got something for the people that's watching.
Okay. I thought you were
I
talking
already
about me.
gave
I was
you
like, what
what
did
you
I do?
wanted. Hey, yeah, exactly.
I was
See?
going to say, thank you for being a gracious host and having me on your show. I really had a good time. We talked about lots of good stuff. So, yes, I really enjoyed it. And I already shared it a bunch of times, but I'll be talking people into watching this. Absolutely. But now I'll shut up and you say whatever you guys say because it's your show.
No, it means the world to me. It's my heart.
Oh.
But hey, thank y'all for watching. It means the world to me that I got some people that's watching. And hey, like, subscribe to the channel at
Mm,
least. It's all good in the hood, you know what I'm saying? Awesome show, awesome love. And I want to have Laurie on the show again, recap.
of course.
So we can
I'm always
recap
happy
that
to come back.
Kickstarter. Yes, I would like to have you,
Well,
Sam.
yeah.
I would like to have you and Sam and a couple of other people on.
Trey,
You know,
Brandon, whoever. I mean,
yeah.
we're easygoing.
I would like to do a roundtable recap show. I say in a couple of months. In a couple of months, I would like to have a recap roundtable show with close to everybody on that's been on the show.
Ooh,
Maybe, you
challenge
know.
accepted.
So if y'all not too busy, hey, if y'all want to come bring the smoke, the love, and peace and hair grease. No, I'm joking.
That's
Nah,
awesome. The smoke, the love, the what, and the hair grease. Say it
the
again.
peace, the
That's your
smoke,
new.
the love, and the peace and the hair grease to you. No,
That's your new tagline for your show. In your face. Bring the smoke, the
it,
love, a peace, and the hair grease. We're all here.
you damn right. Hey, I want y'all to like, subscribe to the channel, man. I'm about to start some shit, stir the pot, and eat some grits. No, 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 no,
No, I like
no,
your
no.
other one better. That doesn't work.
Yeah, peace and hair grease. Damn it. All right, nah, nah.
Wow.
Nah. I actually want to show y'all love. Um, subscribe to the channel, like, and show your appreciation. I always show mine. I love y'all. Peace. And this is the in your face. Showing we out. Peace, baby.